Hi, my name is Bill, and probably like a lot of you, I was pretty excited when Apple came out with its fourth generation Apple TV, and I was disappointed when I discovered that the optical audio out was deleted from the new device, and I had been using that to get a pretty good sound out of the Apple TV into a sound bar. If you don't have a Bose system or a receiver that handles, the HDMI audio and video, you're kind of stuck then with the TV sound that you have. And if you like my TV sound, it's not very good. So I was disappointed, but I decided I would try to find a fix for it. I think I found one that works pretty well for me, at least, and I thought I would share it since there's probably others of you in the same situation I am. So, this is the Apple TV fourth generation, which came out in November of 2015. So this is what I found out. So here I am unboxing my fourth generation Apple TV. I was excited about this till I realized there was no optical audio out on it. So this was the solution I found: monoprice HDMI 4-port switcher with digital audio output. And this is what it looks like hooked up. And this is what it looks like in the back of it, and the configuration that I'm going to tell you about here. So this is an HDMI cord plugged into one of the four inputs of the HDMI 4-port switcher. The other end of this cord is coming out of the fourth generation Apple TV. And this is a second HDMI cord plugged into the output of the HDMI 4-port switcher. The other end of this is going into my television. And finally, right here in the middle of this screen, you see the optical audio cord plugged into the audio out of the HDMI 4-port switcher. And the other end of this audio cord is plugged into the amplifier for my soundbar, for my Panasonic soundbar. And once again, this is what the HDMI 4-port switcher device looks from the rear. Okay, so going through this again, there you see the Apple TV, and in the back of the Apple TV you see I've got an HDMI cord plugged into the output of the Apple TV. There you see it. Now I'm going to be following that cord, and that's going to end up being plugged into any one of the four inputs of the HDMI 4-port switcher. And there I've got it plugged into the last one on the end there. You see it. And now you see there is another HDMI cord plugged into the output of the HDMI 4-port switcher. There you see it. And the other end of that HDMI cord gets plugged into my television set. And there you see me following that cord up to my very wiry television set. Okay, and then of course the final step is that you take the optical audio plug cord and you plug it into the output of the appropriate output of the 4-port switcher, and then you plug the other end of that into your soundbar amplifier. In my case, it's a Panasonic soundbar, and there I'm plugging that in, and you can see the Panasonic label. And there you see I've got it all hooked up, and I'm getting a good quality sound out of my soundbar, all hooked up from my Apple TV through the HDMI switcher and out through my soundbar. Sounds good. Yeah, and one other thing I'll say, this is the remote for the HDMI 4-port switcher. And down on the right side of your screen there, you have the two outputs, audio output select. I had to make sure mine was the 2 channel as opposed to the 5.1 channel. You'll have to take a look at yours to see which is going to work depending on the source of the video that you're trying to play. So that's basically how I did it, and I was able to use my soundbar effectively, again with the fourth generation Apple TV. So essentially, what's happening is the signal coming out of the Apple TV is being split into audio and video through that switcher. This is what was the piece of equipment that I bought: the Monoprice 4 HDMI 4-port switcher with digital audio outputs. I think it cost me about $62, which is fairly expensive. There may be cheaper solutions. There probably are cheaper solutions, and I'm certainly not a techie, so I hope my explanation made sense to you. I just know that was frustrating to me, the fact that I really wanted, and I love the new Apple TV. I think there's lots of great new features in the fourth gen Apple TV, and it was bugging me that I was probably going to have to just use my television sound, which most television sound systems are not very good. So I was very happy that this solution was able to work. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and see you sometime. Bye.